Greetings from Southern Yankee Homestead. If this is your first time, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Well, I wasn't planning on doing any work on the Daihatsu anytime soon, but last weekend the air conditioning quit. So we're going to be getting into that. I'm going to go over what I've done for troubleshooting so far and explain my thought process, and then we're going to take apart some stuff because this has been 3 or 4 days of monotony, as well as going to a mechanic to have someone that has the right tools do a little bit of the diagnosis. So stick around. We're going to see if we can fix the air conditioning on a Daihatsu without ordering parts from Japan. Probably be ordering parts that came from China, but... So about a week ago, went to the store to fill up the Daihatsu, and the air conditioning was working. Got to the end of the road, kind of had a stumble in the Jeep, and then it stopped working. It was a very hot ride, a couple miles up the road to the gas station. When I got there, I took a quick look at things, figured I couldn't figure it out there, so I just turned the AC off and drove back home. And then I found, when I got back home, a bad fuse. So that you know, the fuse panel is right there, right above the clutch pedal. Found a fuse at the top, which is the heater fuse, was blown. I put another fuse in it, got nothing. Went and checked the low side of the AC compressor and had 150 psi. My understanding is it should be 20 to 30. At that point, I stopped troubleshooting it. So you know, here's the air compressor. AC compressor. Here's the AC compressor. Here's the low pressure fitting. The high pressure fitting is right here for the high line. So high line, low line. Well, this was reading 150 psi. No bueno. So I took it to the mechanic. He did some troubleshooting. Come to find out, the compressor clutch is a direct to ground. It's shorted, which is very bad. Magnet don't work, it blows fuses, so we didn't put the fuse back in. Also having a problem because the only AC compressors I can find are used. But the clutches, they have some at most of the auto parts stores. So we got to go ahead and pull this clutch to see if we can find one that matches or close enough that we can modify for this. Also in the process, we found this lovely solder joint here, followed by this lovely solder joint here, with this random pink wire going up here to this pink wire. The mechanic cut the pink wire while troubleshooting to eliminate that from the system because he was getting a dead short to ground. So if you trace this wire right here to anywhere on the chassis, it's getting 0 ohms, which shouldn't be good. Now when I got it back home after that, because he couldn't find a compressor, no big surprise there, I took this line here, which is a blue wire with a red stripe. I traced that thing through the entire vehicle. By entire vehicle, I mean I traced it through the wire loom, all the way around, through here, up underneath, past the fuse box. It didn't go into the fuse box, all the way over to the passenger side. All the way to the input to this little black box up underneath the glove box. You can actually see the connector right there for it. What that little black box is an AC amplifier, air conditioner amplifier. It controls most of the aspects of the air conditioning system on this vehicle. The problem with it is there is one pin, which is the blue wire with the red stripe is basically plastic welded into the connector. So I don't know if that AC amplifier is even working at this point. Good news is you can find them online for fairly cheap on eBay. The problem is I can't even disconnect it because that pin is welded in there. Either it welded the pin itself or the heat caused the plastic to melt, in which case it's not separating because it's got plastic in between it. We're not going to worry about that. I made sure the wires were separate, and if need be, we'll tackle that. Right now I want to get the compressor clutch off so that we can try to find one locally before I go and order a whole new compressor. And while we're at it, since I don't know when it was done last, I don't know when it'll get done next, we're going to do a little preventative maintenance in the process and replace the belts as well. So I say belts because you got one belt here that feeds the air compressor, and then you got another belt that runs the water pump and alternator. And by my figuring, if you're going to pull the AC compressor belt, you might as well pull the alternator water pump belt at the same time, because in order to get to the water pump and alternator belt, you have to pull the AC belt. Kill two birds with one stone. Do a little bit of cheap preventative maintenance while you're in here trying to fix something. Before we get the belt off, all right, we're going to go ahead and try to get this pulley off. For reference, this is a 12 millimeter. I got bite on something, and it's 12 millimeter. Going from the back. Sorry, a little hiccup. Come to find out, there's a bolt on the front and a bolt on the back for adjustment. Make sure we're loose here. Yep. Let's go back to the other side. Oh, wow. Okay. I guess we got to loosen up the bottom ones too. Certainly didn't want this son of a gun to move, did they? There we go. All right, there's the tiny belt. Take that with us and tilt that out all the way, because we're going to try and hope our impact fits in there. Yep. So that's all it took. Need to grab a scribe. Sorry, a pick. Get that washer out of there. Oh, you dirty. Oh, it's a lock washer at that. One washer. Alright, in theory, this should just come out. Still spinning on the shaft, so we might need to use some coercion. Good possibility after 20 years this is just corroded on here and this is all a moot point. All right. It'd be nice if we could use 3 job, but we can't. I'll apologize now for the noise. I'm going to shim here
And make sure to keep that. Alright, this is going to be a little hard to see, but there is a snap ring in here. Snap ring. In theory, just work it off slowly. Oh, there we go. Oh, hey, magnet came with it. Who would have thought? Bearing looks good. Phillips head. Thought there should have been a second one on here. Maybe there was, maybe there wasn't. Oh, there should have been. Oh, interesting. There we go. Not a lot of room there. Got the right screwdriver, I just don't have enough torque on it. Alright, let's see if this contraption will work. No, that's not going to work. I'm going to have to tilt her down more. If I can just tilt her out of the way. I really dislike these right-angled ones. But it allows me to get the torque. It's not allowing me to get the torque I need. It's definitely not that. What's that? 13? Need a 12. Yeah, it'd be easier if I'd put the bed up, but yeah. Oops. Oh well. See if that helps. There we go. Let's see if that's enough. Interesting. Well, this sucks. I've got the clutch out, but unfortunately the magnet out, which isn't magnetic, that's fine. Unfortunately, I'm not seeing any part number on this. I was in high hopes that there'd be a part number. Well, it's been another week and we finally got the part in. So I was able to find the magnet from New Old Stock online. And the way I ended up finding it was I used the Denso compressor for this vehicle. Had a tag on it that explained what model it is. Can't remember off the top of my head, but I used that model compressor coil to find the coil. And I had to run through a bunch of them because I was looking to match up the old coil as close as I could for a new coil. I did pretty good. The one downside, if you look here and right there, so this is the new connector, which is a male spade. The old connector is a female spade that plugs into a male spade on the vehicle side. So we've got to switch out that connector, but that's okay because we got to take care of this mess too. With that, I went ahead and dove into some of the other stuff on the wiring side because, well, that had me questioning. So when I pulled back this massive mop of electrical tape, I ended up with this solder joint here, this solder joint here, And this is the wire that went over to the coil power. I think this is a relay, and this wire here is the feeder for it for the power. I could be incorrect, but it's my best guess at this point. I'm thinking that this system either had a problem in the past or someone just bypassed it altogether. Not sure which. Contemplating pulling this back to see if I can find a blue and white wire somewhere in there. So I'm willing to bet that blue and white wire goes back up under the glove box somewhere. In fact, yeah, well, we got a blue and white wire right here. Let's just see. If maybe in this mass here. Oh, will you look at that? Down in there is a blue and white wire that's cut, and even beyond that, it looks like the green wire is damaged. So let me see if I can get this apart. That would be factory sheathing. Yeah, that's not good. Alright, I've got this stripped down, and several things came to mind. I don't know why someone cut the ground and then put that, or the power. So that's power, that's power. That was just wrapped up in electrical tape. And then you can see here, that's a factory splice that I unwrapped, as well as a factory splice there going to my blue and white wire that was cut. And then I found this monstrosity here, which I think that's a ground. I'm not 100% sure though, because I know the white and black is, what is that? Yeah, that's the white and black is a ground. The red and yellow, or the blue and yellow, is a power. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to fix this without cutting the entire harness down even further. And then I just had this big blue piece here. This piece was just tucked in and wrapped up. So we're going to go ahead and, well, I'm going to go ahead and meticulously, oh, and right here on this, I believe it's a ground, going to this awful solder connection. I believe, well, I need to cut this and shield it better. That'll be easy because I'm fixing that splice, and in the process of fixing that, I'll just sleeve this with some heat shrink. But I guess I'll be back when I get all of this sorted out, because this is going to take me a minute. So I spent a little time on the harness. I ended up, where is it? Depinning the one connector, removing this pin with this big glob of whatever is on here, nastiness. So that is that connection right there. I spliced the green wire. I also shielded that wire. Took out the entire pink wire, and then unfortunately I had to extend this one to clip it back together. I think it's time to temporarily plug this in and then hitch up the clutch and see if this works. If this works with this modified harness, good. If it don't work with this modified harness, then I need to go back and add a wire to two places. So with that being said, these are heat shrink splices. I haven't shrunk them down yet, that one or that one. Once we know this works, then we'll go ahead and shrink those down. But until they work, I'm not going to mess with that. That being said, we've got enough harness here that I can plug this back in, I think. If I get it turned correctly. Come on, baby, you can reach, you can reach. It's tight. Oh, there we go. Very tight. Oh, that's why. Okay. that is plugged directly into the battery. Interesting. Yeah, the fan starts spinning as soon as I do that. That's going to require more wiring. As my wife would say, brick. Alright, we'll be right back. So I just traced that wire. So this yellow wire here, right here, comes down here. There's an inline fuse right here that feeds directly into the starter. So in order to do this right, I'm going to have a switched power of some sort and another relay. So that's why they had that set up that way. Alright, I'm going to have to think through this because this is going to require a little bit more work. So after thinking about this, basically they had the clutch wired in to turn on the relay so that when the AC compressor was running, the fan for the condenser would run as well. Interesting. So as much as this pains me, see if we can even strip this cloth cable. Nope, doesn't look like it. Well, old-fashioned way I mean a razor knife. There we go. Alright. Now this is the painful one. Not going to make it any longer. Ow, that hurt. Now, because we're modifying this harness, flies are horrendous today. Here we go. So I put a butt splice in there so I can take some extra wire and figure out the proper length. Now I need to seal that off. Yeah, I know. I should be using a heat gun. Give that a minute to cool. And then it's on to installation. Well, she's all wired back up and running. I took and had this little clip I added here for the wires going to the radiator. This is the wire coming from the power. Added a little bit of extra oomph right there so that it doesn't rub. There's more there. And this is what the final wiring harness looks like. I do have to get back in here and fix these wires because the ground and negative are touching. So we'll be addressing that at a later time. And I don't know if you can hear a thing I'm saying underneath there. But regardless, the air conditioner's working. Oh. And of course, the day that huh? Yeah. Well, either way. Now I forgot what I was saying.
That's not my fault.
Well, yes it is. You had distracted me.
No, Eve was. She says up.
Oh. The first day I needed the AC, it broke. And the first day I don't need the AC, I get it fixed. Yay! Yay. Hopefully we can run it with the rest of the summer. And oh my God, what do you got in here? No, 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 no. No, 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 no. We're gonna be closing that up. Papa's picking up. Oh, you find that Papa's work funny? I'm not the one that's been... Oh, you want it? Here you go.
Say bye-bye. See you next time. Next time.
Thanks for watching. Bye. Say bye. Bye-bye. Bye. Yeah.
No. No.
A little bit different. I'm going to hand the camera to Eve and let her figure things out. Eve, say hello.
Eve is the camera.
Yep, that's all Eve. So whatever she's pointing at or wherever she drops it will end the video, or whenever the battery dies. What? You done?
Up.
It's going down. You wanna go see Mommy? Wanna go in there? She's zoning. Thanks for watching. Bye now.